If you have been experiencing symptoms of anxiety, tension, feeling overwhelmed, racing thoughts, and lots of overthinking, then I've got some tips for you today. We're going to take a look at what's causing the overthinking and then definitely what can you do about it. My name is Kathryn Gardner, and I'm here to share with you some moments of tranquility. How do you find, create, seek out, and then definitely appreciate ways that you can make changes in your life to find your better self, to get to that place of harmony, and have moments that are full of tranquility? Today, we're looking at tips for anxiety and overthinking. Do you notice that you are on a loop about something right now? Are you overthinking it? You have analyzed it to death, but it's taking up mental space. It's cluttering your mind. And eventually, that's going to wear you down physically and emotionally. So, we're going to take a look at what causes this and then what can you do about it. As we understand our brain, all the way back from our caveman ancestors, knew to look out how to protect us and to survive. And what it did and learned was that as I was scanning the horizon for anything that could harm me, I needed all of my senses to be engaged. I needed to smell really strong. I needed to be able to see very far. I needed to listen closely to the ground for anything trampling and coming close to me. As I was doing that, that heightened up all of my sensory input and put me in a place where I could check out everything that was going on. It pumps this adrenaline, putting me into fight or flight. And I've done other videos on anxiety and fight and flight. So as I look at that, I want to understand, well, what is happening that these thoughts are just stuck there? I can't just keep rethinking this. Maybe at 2 a.m., maybe when the kids are trying to ask me something, maybe when I'm in a meeting at work and I'm just sitting there dwelling on something. Well, the caveman had to take a look at his environment and understand, okay, do I see on the horizon, oh, there is danger. There is something approaching, maybe a tiger. And thankfully, you and I are not handling a lot of tigers on a daily basis, but we're handling dangers that are the type of emotional dangers. What do other people think of me? Am I being accepted? Am I making good decisions? So these dangers stay in the mind, and the caveman didn't have a lot of time to sit around and think, well, what should I do about this? What's the best approach? No, survival was something you have to approach quickly. So the frontal lobe goes into this racing thought. Well, should I grab a stick? Should I run up a tree? What is my best approach to save my life? Our overthinking is because the adrenaline keeps pumping for you and keeps telling you, quick, you need a decision. You need to know the answer. You need to have calm solutions to all of this. So if you notice that you're not feeling complete and closure on topics, there's a reason that your mind keeps playing with it. All right, so let's take a look. There are lots of things that could be causing your overthinking, but I'm going to give you 3 of the most common. And I want you to be aware. I want you to write down today, what is it that is looping for you? What are you overthinking? Draws in all this fatigue afterwards. And one of them could be your uncertainty. You might feel that you wanted closure, you want the answer, you want to know how it's going to turn out, but you don't. And so the mind keeps playing with it and thinking about it. I have the example here on the screen is the job interview, right? Someone sitting in the interview and you're trying to put your best stuff out on the table, and yet I don't know. Are they going to pick me? Why'd she just ask that question in the interview? If I do get this job, how am I going to balance all of my other responsibilities? If I'm a parent, what am I going to do with the kids' schedules? How is this all going to work out? And so all of this noise begins to roll through our minds. Another way that you might notice that's causing your anxiety and overthinking is your decision making. As parents, we have decisions, for example, every day that we're making. My husband and I have to be on the same page, and we're not always looking at the situation the same way. Well, do we make the decision with the child and then, we look and go, I'm not sure if I like that decision, or I'm not sure how we handle that. Could we handle that better differently next time? Or maybe you've made decisions with money and you've made them in the past, and now you're looking ahead at financial decisions you have to make going forward. And you think, I am not sure of myself. I've made these decisions and I didn't like the way they turned out. So now here I am overthinking and analyzing this over and over again. Another example that I have is, what about your doubts? Right? These are our inner insecurities. We look at them as our weaknesses. And unfortunately, they can happen in a lot of our relationships, whether it's our friends or our coworkers or our significant other. So that's the example I have on the screen for you, is that you're out to dinner. He seems kind of quiet and withdrawn. And I'm thinking, why is he all withdrawn? Why is he not saying much? What's on his mind? What's he thinking about? Why is he not answering me? Why does he not remember what I just said? What's going on? And the overthinking, you can get home and really start to analyze and really ruminate, right? Just feel upset and distressed about this, that now you're on edge and even irritable because you don't feel like you understand what happened. And you look back at yourself. Maybe it's something about me. Maybe there's something he doesn't like. Maybe there's something I did. Maybe there's something that he's starting to change his feelings. I mean, we really go down a rabbit hole of worst case scenarios when we get to overthinking, right? I had that conversation with that friend, and why did she make that face? And she didn't really answer me back. And maybe that's the thing, she's judging me and she doesn't like what I said. And oh no, I mean, she hasn't texted me back in a while. Oh, something happened in our friendship. I mean, we can just get stuck in a lot of overthinking. So let's take a look at what are common themes that people describe, right? I do a counseling session with women in Illinois and Florida. And some of the things that are very commonly coming up in our conversations, one is about looping about stuff that's already happened. That decision's already been made, that problem solving already occurred, but I don't really feel settled with it. And that's what you'll notice when you can quantify it as overthinking. It has happened, I did do it, but I'm not sure I like it. Another one could be worst case scenarios about the future. Is something going to be coming up that I have to decide on or I have to plan for? And we're planning that trip. And did I set up all the right arrangements? Is this going to happen? What if this happens? What if that happens? I did a video on what if thinking. That's very common. We could have doubts about the types of decisions that we need to make. And very commonly, the reason that we overthink is because we value it so much. If this is the relationship with one of my children, how I am with them, how they are growing up is so important to me that I'm going to doubt myself. I'm going to overthink how I'm handling things because I want it to go so well. Comparing to others, I might take a look around as to other people that look like they're calm and things are going very smoothly for them. And I think, oh, why don't I feel that way? Why do I feel so tense and worked up? So those are themes that can play into your overthinking. So while you're journaling, while you're talking to your counselor, please take a look at if any of these themes apply. Because then they're going to help us to get to our action plan, right? In each of my videos, I want you to walk out of this and listen to this and think, okay, I know what I can do. What can I actually take action on? And the action plan really here has two basic steps to it. The first is that overthinking means the mind is trying to use a lot of energy and mental space to come up to that feeling of completion. So why don't we write it down? Put it in your journal notebook. I've got my tranquility journals you can buy on Amazon. Sometimes I text myself on the phone, or I start a document in my phone, a Google Doc, and I think, okay, I need to just lay this all out, right? If I'm thinking of a major decision, what school is my child going to go to in the fall? Do I know the right school? Have I looked at all of the aspects? It's a lot to break down and it's a lot to examine. So I don't want to be stuck with this at 3 a.m. So I want to write it down. I want to be able to see it on the paper, separate myself from the emotional side of it, and say, I'm going to come back to this. Maybe it's talking to a trusted friend or a loved one and telling your sister, can I tell you what's on my mind? Like, I have just been looping on this and I really want to close it up. This is what I did. This is why I was thinking this way. This is what I did with it. And either they're going to validate and just really show you this love that, oh my goodness, you're being so hard on yourself. Why will you feel that way? I can help you. I can encourage you. Maybe they have some tips. Maybe they have some suggestions. Oh, I found this website and this helped me, or I listened to this podcast and that helped me. Because the truth is that sometimes in the moment we feel like the tiger's approaching and I feel like I urgently need to make a decision. But a lot of decisions, thankfully, we have some time. So I need to walk away from that notebook and say, all right, I'm not taking up mental space trying to solve it. I will come back to it. I was able to fully walk away because with time, sometimes clarity, that the answers come, more information comes in, and I go, okay, now I understand what was happening or why that person had that look on their face while we were out to lunch. Boy, there was a lot more going on in her life that I didn't even know about. Okay. So that helps us to say, you know what? If I control these thoughts and talk back to myself, stop. I don't want to be on this loop anymore. I'm going to solve this in time. So, our goal here is to reach that place of happiness and calmness, getting to moments, right? So maybe not your whole day is going to feel like you found tranquility, but I want you to continue on this journey towards tranquility. I hope that these thoughts and ideas and suggestions and education have all helped you to get to those tips for anxiety and overthinking. My name is Kathryn Gardner. I am a licensed therapist in Illinois and in Florida, and I'm also a certified health coach. I'd be happy to work with you and talk with you further about what you're struggling with, but you can also follow me online and get some more of my free information and free tips. I hope you have a great day. Thank you.